When we work hard and make the proper sacrifices and decisions to accumulate wealth, the last thing we want is for it to be squandered by the next generation. In this video, we're going to be discussing tips and strategies to avoid squandering your wealth in a single generation. Now, it's most parents' goal to make sure their children's lives are easier and more pleasant than their own. This is a scriptural principle, as in Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. The blessings on the life of a good man is great enough that upon his death, he has enough to give an inheritance not only to his children, but to his grandchildren. But the thing is, according to T.D. Jacques, if you leave more to them than in them, they're going to blow it all in one generation. It says if we don't educate our children about the power of money and how to use it, they're just going to see it slip away like grains of sand through your fingers. Now, we don't have to look too far back in history to see the evidence of this. Let's take some extreme examples of, say, two of the families from the Gilded Age. Both amassed fortunes that in today's dollars would be worth in excess of like $2 billion. When the patriarch of one family died, his children used the fortune to continue living a lavish lifestyle. They built castles all over the United States. They threw many lavish balls and parties. They eroded the fortune to the point where, well, today it's all but gone. The family members no longer live a lavish lifestyle, and many of them have to, well, start working for a living. That family's last name was Vanderbilt. Another family who has maintained and grown their fortune well into the seventh generation, with over 170 family members enjoying the fruits of the patriarch's labor. That patriarch set up and his family has continued to use irrevocable trusts funded by life insurance policy. Now, these policies, along with strict stipulations to protect the family fortune from irresponsible behavior, has preserved and grown the family fortune to, well, an estimated over $11 billion. To ensure the preservation of this wealth, they focused on educating each generation on good money habits and the importance of planning for 2 or 3 generations to come, rather than on themselves. Now, how did they do this? Well, when a child in the family is born, the family fortune immediately purchases and funds a life insurance policy on the child. As the child grows, they have access to the cash value on their policy, and they can take a loan against it as seed money, to get an education, start a business, or whatever they desire to add value during their lifetime. Now, when the members of the family pass away, proceeds of their life insurance policy is used to pay off policy loans and fund the next generation's policies. This is known as the Rockefeller method. And this is how J.D. Rockefeller's fortune has grown, again, to be in excess of over $11 billion, while Vanderbilt's fortune is all but gone. Now, you don't have to start with billions to take advantage of this strategy. You don't even need millions, even hundreds of thousands. You can start where you are at now. Now, how do you do this? Well, it starts by buying and funding a properly structured participating life insurance policy, not only on your life, but on each of your children and grandchildren. Then you teach each generation the infinite banking concept. Now, you might be a little concerned about the optics of buying insurance on your kids and your grandkids, especially if you're focused on the amount that's going to pay out on their death. I would encourage you to consider that you're buying it for your children and your grandchildren to use during their lifetime, not on their death. Consider that when designed properly, life insurance is there to ensure you don't run out of money while you're alive. Otherwise, they would have called it death insurance. Now, I'm currently dealing with one gentleman right now who is marrying into a family who has been using the infinite banking concept for years. His father-in-law leverages the cash value in his policy and loan that to the couple to buy themselves a car. They can pay it back whenever they like, whenever they can. Now, the son-in-law is eager to start his own policy so he can do the same thing for his children during his lifetime. One of my colleagues started purchasing and funding policies on his grandchildren. When one of them was about 10 years old, he caught the entrepreneurial bug and decided he wanted to start cutting lawns around the neighborhood to earn a couple of bucks. Now, rather than borrowing the family lawnmower, Grandpa offered to help his grandson buy a lawnmower with the help of a couple $100 loan from his life insurance policy on the grandson's life. Of course, by doing so, the grandpa explained how money worked and the loan for the policy wasn't free. It needed to be paid back with interest eventually. Well, didn't that motivate the grandson? Now he has multiple mowers, weed whackers, leaf blowers, and really half the kids in the neighborhood working for him. I could just imagine what's next. I assume Grandpa will probably give him the policy when he becomes an adult. And with the education and the business he's gleaning at such an early age, I'm sure he'll be using another policy loan as the seed money for a much bigger business. He's already made Grandpa proud. Can you envision what your children or your children's children could accomplish with this simple financial education and seed capital from a life insurance policy that you funded? If you can, your next step is to click on the link in the description below and meet with an infinite banking practitioner near you. If you like this video and the information we share here at IB Canada, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more of this content.